Um. Okay, and so I'm going to start the show now.
Woo! Yeah. Wait.
And that's how we
I'm
start
sorry.
it.
My bad.
Howdy, folks! We're fresh into the new year already, huh? A perfect time to release a New Year's special right after it actually happened. As always, guys, You Don't Look Like Your Picture may not be suitable for minors, but it is suitable for majors. Start of the year with a terrible joke. But no, seriously, kids, stay away from this nasty podcast. I'm getting tired of saying this show is not safe for work because you know what? It's your job and you can listen to what you damn well please while you work. Just make sure you're wearing earphones or the other people in the room are chill with nasty sex stuff. Keep in mind, none of us are licensed therapists, psychologists, sexologists, or mixologists for that matter. So if we tell you how to make an old-fashioned, throw your listening device against the goddamn wall because it's just not correct. All right, now let's celebrate 2019. New year, new show.
New show.
This is. Yep.
Oh, sorry. Wait, are you doing your intro? Go ahead. I interrupted. I was just going to chime in.
No, you can chime in if you want to. It's a new year. Okay, well,
let's do it together. Let's say New Year, new show together.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Well, okay. Just bear with me.
Okay.
I got a funny here. Okay, so in 5, 4,
4,
3,
3, 2. What are we doing?
One person counts down.
Okay.
You don't need to count down. Is it the Amanda show?
I thought this was a team effort, and so we were going to do this together since we can't hold each other's hands because we're in different rooms.
Okay, fine. You can count down.
No, I don't. I don't want to count down. I want you to count down because I don't know when do you start the countdown? Does someone do a pre-countdown to the countdown?
Who counts down on New Year's Eve?
Who counts down? Who counts down the countdown? That's what I want to know.
That's the real question here on New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve.
New Year's Rockin' Eve. Okay, so in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's
new year, new show. I'm sorry, was that bad? Okay, I'll just let you say it.
Okay,
just say it.
New year, new show. This isn't your run-of-the-mill gross horror story podcast anymore. We're purely. Oh wait, I was.
You
spelled
spelled Never mind, that's how you spell her name. Is it? It looks like no one can see it. Doesn't matter. It's not a fucking visual. It's an audio. So just keep going.
Okay. New year, new show. This isn't your run-of-the-mill gross horror story podcast anymore. We're purely Martha Stewart. Welcome to the Home and Garden Network podcast, where I teach you that you don't need dick in your life, and you can always substitute a man with a plant.
You know, mistletoes. I'm sorry, I had a fact with that.
Okay. What's your fact?
I was just going to say that mistletoes are parasitic plants and then everyone is always kissing underneath a mistletoe, but really you can use that as an opportunity to leech the life from your partner. You can go on. That was irrelevant.
Well, on that note, y'all think that we do that? This ain't no Home and Garden Network show. This is You Don't Look Like Your Picture. Welcome to You Don't Look Like Your Picture New Year's No One's Rockin' Me Eve. I thought that was funny. I'm the barefoot Contessa of severe depression, KW Simpson.
And I'm Shiloh Rain. That's all I've got. I'm sorry, I didn't think this much into it.
Okay, well, let's give it some time. Let's see if we can come up with a good little introduction, something like a little subtext as to how we can really think about you in an audio perspective. I'll let you go again.
Okay, here we go. You know what? I'll go with one that really speaks to me on a personal and possibly metaphysical level.
I got one.
Okay, if this doesn't work, I'll read off yours, okay?
Okay.
I have two, so I'm going to just do them both. You've heard both of them, but no one else has, so it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. Okay, first one is, I'm Shiloh Rain, and I'll have you know I bleach my own ass.
Okay.
There's that one, and then I got one more.
Okay.
I'm Shiloh Rain, and regular anal is good. I feel like I don't like the way I said that. Anyways, what are some thoughts that you had?
I was going to say, like, and I'm the parasitic plant that you kissed your cousin under. I'm Shiloh Rain.
Okay, we'll try that one. I'll let you dabble with this and see what actually works.
Okay, so you want to do the intro again?
Okay, let's do it again. I'm pioneering the parasitic plant that you kissed your cousin under. I'm Shiloh Rain.
I'm pioneering?
Yeah, everyone's gonna start doing this now.
Like the Oregon Trail. Everyone's gonna start kissing their cousin.
Like the Oregon fucking Trail, where everyone got yellow fever, or your son got kidnapped by a fucking eagle, or your ox drowned in the river, and then you have no way to transport your fucking, what is that called? I want to say cart, but that's not right. Wagon. There we go. Wagon.
Okay.
Wagon.
Let's start this over. I'm the barefoot Contessa of severe depression, KW Simpson.
I'm the parasitic plant that you kissed your cousin with, Shiloh Rain.
You don't kiss people with mistletoe. Oh. You kiss under it.
You do if it's a parasite! That's my intro and I'm sticking to it!
I'm the barefoot Contessa of severe depression, KW Simpson.
And I started my period on March 29th, 2006, and I'm Shiloh Rain.
All right, a good amount of information. Ready for the new year.
Mm-hmm.
Ready, broadcasting this out into the live stream. Before we get started, I really want to share a song that's I feel like we should do like a little bit of a song review here.
I agree.
And it's not copyright if we are reviewing it. So I'd like to go ahead and give a full-fledged review of one song, and I'm going to be playing for you. I'm going to be playing it for you right now.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I've heard this song before.
I feel like maybe you have. It's been on the airwaves for quite a while.
Yeah, it's like meeting your friend that you haven't seen in 10 years. That's what I feel whenever I listen to this song.
I know. It's very heartwarming, heartfelt, and you hear the sound of an 8-year-old kid trying his best so that his mother won't know.
Right, and there's just something about Mmmbop that just speaks to you. It doesn't have to mean anything, but you just know it feels like home.
It doesn't. Even the title itself says Mmmbop, which doesn't mean anything.
Exactly. It means literally nothing. Like, dooba deeba dob from, what is that, NSYNC or Backstreet Boys? I'm
it could
blue,
be either.
I'm a dee-ba-ba-da-ba-dee-ba-ba-bee-ba-da. I don't know what the words are, but they're not real words.
Let's just get to the chorus there. Mmmbop.
Da-da-ooh-bop,
yeah. And you know what? That speaks to me on so many levels.
Yes, it really does. I think, this song is how we started our year, and I'm really glad that this is how we're ending this year on this note with this particular song.
And now this particular song actually has a backstory in your life, and I don't think you've told it on this podcast. So how about you share your little story?
Yeah, so this is a fun little story that I have, and KW was fortunate enough to be there to experience it with me. And oh God, where do I begin on this? So I was talking to this guy for a while, and I finally wanted him to meet KW because KW is one of my best friends. And, once you get to that, it wasn't a relationship, but we were seeing each other regularly enough to where I had met a couple of his friends already. And so I wanted him to meet one of mine. And I thought, what better person than KW? As this person that has been there with me through everything and gotten me through a bunch of hard times. Why not bring him around? And so he's like, sure. So we go to this bar in Oklahoma, and one of his coworkers, or I'm sorry, he called them colleagues, I guess, to show that he was better.
Oh, no, because he's a professor, so
he's a professor, so he had to call them colleagues. Colleagues. And I don't know. I didn't question it. I was like, okay, whatever. So we get there, and doesn't really introduce us to the people that he's with. So we're just kind of trying to make conversation with people that we don't even know. on any type of level. This is not even really a first name fucking basis. But we're sitting there, we're trying to make conversation. He's off in his own conversation with one of his colleagues and doesn't try to.
Hold on.
What?
Like a little backstory on your backstory, though. You told me that like he's done this in the past like 5 billion times, where he's like, "Oh, I want to bring you out to like this cool special place to come hang out with my friends," and then he like ignores you for the rest of the night, and then you're just there, and like nothing ever happens, and then like you're just like, I remember like you came to me and were like, "Hey, I know this is like really weird, but like he invited me out to Speakeasy, and like I just really don't want to go alone because he's going to be fucking talking to his friends all night, and I don't want that to happen again."
Yeah, that's another reason too, because it's happened one too many times. And thinking, God, being by yourself in a group of people that there's nothing you can really relate to. Like, we don't have the same interests, really. I think he liked the idea of me and didn't really like me as a person, if that makes any sense. Like, it was something he wanted to keep in his back pocket, and then realized when he like wanted me to show off but not really be a part of anything, if that makes sense. It's kind of hard to explain, but
like arm candy.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of how I felt when I was being taken out. And so we get there, and another thing is too, he wanted to hold hands and stuff, and I'm not really a fan of PDA. I'm not wanting to be all over my partner. I mean, maybe if it's just me and my partner, but if I'm like with my friends, I don't want to be kind of face fucking them, because that's just weird. It makes everyone else uncomfortable. I mean, I get uncomfortable when I see people do it.
I do get uncomfortable whenever somebody sends me a PDA via email. I mean, why can't you send me that in Word document form?
Exactly. I bet you were waiting this whole time for that, weren't you?
Yes, I was. I'm sorry.
Okay. Thanks. And so so the band starts playing. We go there. He's already keeping to himself. So me and KW are off to the side, just standing there listening to the music that is too fucking loud for us to think. The guy comes over to me. He goes, "Hey, you want to go upstairs?" And I was like, "Sure." And before we even get there, just kind of a little side note for you guys. What was it? KW goes, "If there's a jukebox there," he goes, "we have to play Mmmbop on repeat by Hanson." I said, "Fuck yes, absolutely. That is hilarious." And so we get there, and then upstairs, KW runs up to me as I'm playing foosball with the guy that I had been talking to, and he goes, "Oh, there's a fucking jukebox here." And so I ripped $5 of cash out of my purse, and I said, "Put that good shit on."
Put that shit on.
Put that shit on. I was just like, "Here you go, just do it. Just do it." Yeah, exactly. I was just do it, put it on. So he runs over, he starts playing. I'm playing foosball with the guy, and then KW comes back over, and we're listening to it. We're laughing. After the first round goes, it starts up the second time. And so we're fucking dying laughing, because you hear people start questioning, saying, didn't this song just play? Like, is this song playing again? Because the first time you hear it, and maybe even the second time, you don't realize it. But the third time, someone realizes that there's something not right. Well, as the second time starts playing, the guy goes, "I'm going to go downstairs." And I said, "Okay, cool." Didn't think anything was wrong. So me and KW are up there fucking around for probably 10 plus minutes trying to get this song to play multiple times in a row, but people caught on, and so they eventually were able to shut it off. But fucking worth it. So fucking worth it.
Asshole.
Yes.
Playing Back Rex or some
I
shit
know. I was
that.
like, fuck you guys. I was like, you're complaining about Hanson. You're making me listen to fucking probably a speech by Winston Churchill over here. Eat my ass. But yeah, so basically we go back downstairs, and this guy is being very standoffish with me. He's kind of keeping to himself and talking to his friend. And so I realize that he clearly doesn't want me around. He goes, "Do you have fun up there?" And I was like, "Yeah, I did actually." And he goes, "You know, that ruins people's nights." And I said, "That's the point." And he didn't talk to me really after that. And so I just said, "I'm going to go." He goes, "Okay." So I tabbed out, went home with KW because we live with each other. And I'm laying down. I'm about to go to sleep because I have to work ass early in the fucking morning. And I get a text from him that says, The band was really great tonight. I hope you and KW had fun with your juvenile prank up there. And then he goes, fucking childish. And I'm trying to process this because I'm about to go to bed. I'm thinking, is he really that fucking pissed off that we played Hanson on a jukebox on repeat at a fucking bar? And I'm thinking, are you kidding me right now? So I call him because I'm not about to get into a fucking texting fiasco with him because I just call him, get it over with. I don't fucking care. So I call him and I said, what's your problem? And he goes, you're ruining people's nights. I said, I didn't ruin anyone's night. And no one else seemed to have a problem with it except for you. And he went on to say how he is the musical director of Oklahoma City University, and he will not be subject to listening to Hanson on repeat at a bar. And I'm like, first of all, that is pretentious as fuck. The second of all, why do you hate Hanson? They're really nice people.
They're very nice.
I know people that have met Hanson before. They really like them. Like,
nice
who
boys.
hurt you?
Who hurt you?
And
was it Hanson?
And my favorite part was that really, like, I didn't ruin anyone's night except for his because I don't know whatever the fuck he had going on beforehand. But then he went on to say that KW was toxic and was bringing me down because of how antisocial KW was. And he wanted to introduce me to his friends, even though he didn't fucking do that. And then he had, what was it? Yeah, and so basically he's saying that KW was on his phone all night, and like he was only on there to show me a dick pic that he had got sent to him on Grindr, and that what was it? And I was like, and how did you want? He's like, well, we didn't try to have a conversation. I said, first of all, yes, we did. Whenever you decided to isolate us with some random person that we didn't fucking know, you didn't even introduce us to them. We had to introduce ourselves. Second of all, how do you have a conversation in a room where it is so loud that you cannot think? I asked him that, and he just didn't know what to say. And I think he was a little drunk. That doesn't make an excuse, though.
No, it doesn't.
And so I was like, and then the dude that was engaged to your colleague fucking shook KW's hand and said goodbye to both of us. So obviously we did something right and we weren't too antisocial.
No.
And so it was just, I was like, I told him, I said, clearly we don't have the same sense of humor that I thought we did. And he goes, no, we do. I said, no, we obviously don't because you're really offended by this, by what I did. And then I said, we drove around in a fucking parking garage screaming Waluigi at people with our windows down, but you can't handle me playing fucking Hanson at a bar? Are you kidding me?
You guys actually did that?
I did that. He was fine with it. So I was like, oh, this will be funny. I was I feel like if I had to pick something to be more embarrassed about, it would probably be someone wawing at people like Waluigi with the windows down. I don't know.
I was toxic to him, and as a tribute, I'd like to play this next song.
Is this the good one?
It's the good one.
Oh, good. This is for you.
This is for you. I'm way too toxic for Shiloh. I feel like this should be in the background of this entire story.
Oh my god, yes.
The trumpets is what gets me.
I think my favorite part is too is like not only that he said he's a musical director, he was saying he's like, I work 50 hours a week and I did not want to go to a bar and listen to Hanson the way that I was doing it. And I'm thinking, who fucking cares? I was working at a detention center. Get over it.
Okay, your review.
So my review is I'm going to finish the story.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so basically, I said, well, you know what? I was like, is this how you want to end it? You want to end it off on this note? I said, I'm going to leave that to you. And he goes, well, I mean, let's talk later. And I said, okay, well, that's your call, but I'm not going to wait around for this. So I just hung up and I went to bed. And then I had to tell everyone at work the next day about it just to make sure I wasn't, overreacting. And they all thought it was fucking funny what I did. Also another thing he said, he goes, it's not funny when I do. It's only funny when a comedian does it. And I'm thinking,
Excuse me?
What's the fucking difference? Like, it's still a person that no one fucking knows that is playing a song on repeat at a bar. I think it's funny when anyone does it. Doesn't matter if you're a fucking comedian or not. So he sends me a text the next day saying, wow, I was so drunk last night. What happened? I'm thinking, this motherfucker is going to try to use this excuse. I was like, okay, bet. And so I said, there's no way that you don't remember what happened last night. I said, I just don't believe it. And he said, well, between the 2 beers that I had, 2 beers on an empty stomach. And I'm like, I could have 3 shots on an empty stomach and I would be fucking fine.
Keep in mind, this is Oklahoma beer.
So the alcohol content is much less than it would be here in California.
Yeah.
So he was trying to say that he was so drunk, he didn't remember what happened. And I said, I think I owed an apology. He's like, well, I'll apologize for how mad I got, but for not for what made me mad in the first place. I'm thinking, you shouldn't have been mad at all. That's the whole point of it.
Yeah.
That's the issue. And if you can't think that that's funny, then we're obviously never going to work in any type of universe. So and then he was trying to say that he didn't even know what he said. And I said, you said a lot of things that really hurt me and you were talking down to me. And then all he said was, well, I'm sorry for talking down to you. And I said, well, if that's all you have to say about the other night, then I have nothing left to say to you. And that was the beginning of this year. And it is now December. Have not heard one word from him. Nothing at all. And so I'm okay with that, though. You know what I mean? Because I know I didn't do anything wrong. And it's like, if he doesn't want to own up to the fact that he overreacted that night and doesn't want to give me or KW a genuine apology, like, I don't even want him to really apologize to me, per se. It's more I want him to apologize for the way he talked about KW and not even trying to give him a chance. He didn't even try to get to know him. He just shut him down completely. And that's what pisses me off more than anything. Like, I've actually had toxic people in my life, and KW is not one of them. Otherwise, I would not be here right now if it wasn't for him. So that really irked the shit out of me.
Right. Now that I hear, like, the whole, like, you guys are driving around a parking garage shouting "wah" at people.
Yeah, you see why. That kind of makes me
think, like, okay, no, you can, like, use this type of humor, and, like, you do enjoy this type of humor. It's just the fact that I was there.
I really think that's what it was.
And, like, I was drawing attention away from him.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. It's some weird male competition type of shit. I mean, I don't fucking know, man. I'm gay.
I know he's gay, so nothing's gonna happen.
So, like, we've been best friends for like 5 years. So it's like, I don't know what you're expecting of this. So how about a review for both Hanson's Mmmbop?
Hanson, you changed my life forever, and I couldn't be more grateful. I really couldn't.
How many stars would you give it?
I'm going to give it 8 out of 10 again. 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10 again?
8 out of 10.
I give it a 12 out of 10. You see, I think it conveys a lot of things that the millennial generation needs to realize. And I feel like it pertains to your situation very much so, because there are questions that, like, you wanted to ask him and you wanted to say, can you tell me?
No, you can't.
And no, you can't, because you don't know.
Exactly. Can you tell me why you got so mad? No, you can't, because you don't know.
Because you don't know. And that's the big thing here. And so it really relates to, I feel like it speaks out to a generation, and it really relates to a lot of situations, especially this one, because he couldn't tell you because he didn't know.
And that is toxic.
And that
was more toxic. That is toxics, which is more toxics than playing Hanson's Mmmbop on repeat at a bar.
And which brings us to our next review. How would you rate Toxics?
Toxics. Okay, that one is a 15 out of 10. That song speaks to me on so many levels, and I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for that song and really that variation of the song.
That variation, because it really just kind of relates to how our lives are going right now.
How they're at right now. This is how I'm ending the year on the toxic level. This is how we're
ending the year, and this is how toxic I am. Like, this just kind of explains
how could you bring me to this really level, KW? Like, what is wrong with you?
I know. I'm so sorry that I've made you go into a parking garage and shout "Wow" at people, because that's less childish than playing Mmmbop on repeat in a fucking bar.
I was like, what the fuck? And like, I think it was a mixture of his friends being there and seeing me act like that, and he also had his own persona with how he was around them, and to see like, I'm sorry, I'm having a great fucking time. If that's how you want to portray a certain person and be a certain person around these people, that's fine. That's not the type of life I want to live, though.
No. And that is Talk Hicks by Mitty Riddick on SoundCloud. You can find that on SoundCloud, and that is the soundtrack to my life. Moving on, we went way far off topic, but so this is our New Year's Eve special.
30 minutes in, we're finally getting to the point of this podcast episode.
No, we got a good amount to cover. I got a horror story that I think that you might like, and we've got some dating advice for you guys. But first off, I want to give a little bit of a live update and like our future goals about the podcast. As you might know, Holly isn't here today. It is her birthday. It's, when we're recording this. Yesterday was her birthday, so she wasn't able to record with us. That was December 30th. So happy birthday, Holly! Happy birthday! Woo, 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 pew, 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 pew. I want to put that in there. Anyways, so I got a new job in downtown LA. Finally, I'm going to be working the graveyard shift, though. So I'm going to be working like nights from like 8 p.m. to like 4 a.m. But first off, yeah! Woo! Finally, after 6 months of being unemployed.
Right?
So my schedule's kind of wonky right now. I'm starting off training during the day, and I don't know when I'm going to switch to nights. So we're trying to get a solid recording schedule going. And that whole technical difficulty fiasco where we lost 2 whole episodes really set us back. Like, completely.
Mentally and motivationally. Like, trust me,
right.
Having to... The thought of having to redo those episodes, especially the one that we've already finished, just fucks me up. It just makes me not want to do it. I know we have to.
It really demotivated a lot of us, but I really want to keep this going. So we've been having to record live, and then like I've been like spending like the next couple of days just editing and putting it out on Wednesdays, just so that you guys have it. And we're receiving a lot of positive feedback, and I just want to take the time for all the support that we've received this half of the year. Whenever we started in October, me and Shiloh would just like to extend our thanks to everyone who's been listening.
Woo!
All of our avid listeners. Guys, thank you so much. This has been such a wonderful start to a podcast. I really hope that this goes on and on and on, because we really do enjoy actually doing this. Shiloh, what do you have to say to our fans?
I just have to say thank you for sharing us in your stories, or even talking about us, or even listening for 10 fucking seconds, because maybe it's either the 10 worst seconds you've heard, if it's any of the ones that I'm in where the audio's shit, or just the 10 best seconds. I don't know. It's just really nice to know that people are actually taking the time to sit down and give us a chance when they don't have to, and that means a lot, especially with these episodes being fucking hour and a half long. That's quite a commitment. I mean, even if it's fucking 45 minutes, that's better than nothing, and so we really appreciate that.
And we do understand that these are podcasts, but still, like, sitting down and listening to us ramble on about like our lives and about like online dating, which is kind of what the whole premise of this podcast is about. That takes a lot out of your day. And if you're like listening to this on your commute, I understand. And listening to this in pieces, I even understand. This probably is good to listen into pieces, because we do like different like sects of like stories and stuff like that. So yeah, we want to take the time to say thank you to all of our listeners for this year. We hope that 2019 becomes even better and that we get even better quality. This is our first time doing something like this. So yeah, thank you for your support. So speaking of which, we're trying to work around the schedules that I have, that Holly has. She's still in school, and then Shiloh has her own thing. She's being switched around because she's got like new management. She's having to kind of cover people.
Fuck Starbucks.
Yeah, right. Starbucks. Sundays, she was usually, she had kind of a set schedule on Sunday, but like this Sunday, she had to like close.
And next Sunday, I have to close.
And then next Sunday, she has to close. So like, that kind of set us off. Because Sundays were usually our recording days. That was the days that we had like time, like a couple hours to record and get stuff done. So we're spending the next couple of weeks just trying to organize, get stuff ready, re-record those episodes that we lost, and trying to just work around and see how things go. I start my new job in like 2 days, so we'll see how that goes. We want to record each episode with the three of us, like each like big episode, like episode 5 stalking, episode 6. What was 6?
That was the groups of people, stereotypes.
Yeah, so we had stereotypes that we were going to do, then we lost that because of technical difficulties. And we do practice the premise of quality over quantity, but we also want to be consistent, and we don't want to lose our audience. We don't want to lose your faith in us, and so we want to like. Even this was just kind of like a spur of a moment idea. It's like, hey, let's do like a New Year's Eve special. This would be like fun. We'll talk about like our goals for the new year. Before we get into that, I just want to say that our goal for this year for the podcast, we want to grow, we want to be consistent, and we want to have schedule, and we want to be organized and scheduled. Mm-hmm. So it's just going to take some time to get to that point.
I would also like to see, you know, when this podcast starts building up and maybe we can afford better equipment, bringing guests on to talk about their dating lives and their experiences. And that could be a thing to keep the dating thing going, because everyone's going to have their own experiences with it and just maybe their take on it. And so I think that would make it more interesting to listen to.
Yeah, right now we're kind of having to rely on Discord and Skype and just trying to like bring people on through there. Holly was kind of our first thing, and she just became a host. But like, it's just been difficult trying to coordinate 3 people's schedules, and you can imagine. I'm gonna stop complaining about that right now, but let's get into the episode actually. But yeah, that's our goal for this year. But this episode is focused on the new year, and this is gonna be released after New Year's Eve. Let's see, what is today?
The 2nd of January. That's Wednesday.
2nd of January. That's when I'm planning on releasing this. If later, I do apologize. It's just I'm probably going to spend the next couple of days trying to add this down. But like, if I don't get it, I don't get it.
No biggie. Sorry. Don't beat yourself up about it.
Right. So let's talk about New Year's goals, and more particularly our dating goals for the new year. So I actually wanted to start off with you, Shiloh. So I wanted to see what your goals for your dating life is going to be for this year. For 2019. That's such a weird date.
Right? I was like, there's nothing, I don't know, odd numbers.
Odd numbers are weird.
For the years really, really irk me. Even though I was born in 93, it's weird. That felt right, but everything else after that didn't.
Every new year doesn't feel right. It's like
it really doesn't. You know, I really hate the fucking mantra of like, new year, new me. Like, no, it's going to be the same person and just same bullshit, just a different year. Only thing new about it is the year. That's literally it.
Handle it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But yeah, so I kind of thought about some resolutions, and one of them was to take anal more seriously.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're open to new possibilities.
I feel like it's such a missed opportunity, but I think the thing is, guys think that they can put their dick in your ass and then they want to put it in your vagina, and you're like, you better clean this shit off because I'm not about to get an infection down there.
No,
at least you just have your ass to worry about, you know?
Right. No, that's bad. Don't let a guy do that.
No.
You can legitimately get like an infection. You can legitimately get killed that way.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not trying to do that yet. If I'm going to die, it's either going to be by my own fucking hands or natural causes,
Right.
whatever that may look like. But yeah, so I think taking anal more seriously, I think that would be a good one. I'm open to it, but it's just you got to find the right person to do anal with.
Should we have like a dedicated episode on how to do anal?
I think that should be like a mini-sode of like sex tips. Sex tips. Especially for first time sex tips. You know what I mean? When you're first, it's like your very first time getting intimate with a new partner. Like, what do you do? Kind of a thing.
Well, number one for anal is douching. Like, you got to do it. You got to have a clean canvas to work with.
I've done anal a couple times. I didn't douche and it was fine.
Nah, you're rolling the dice there. You're playing at the roulette table and you're betting on red and it keeps hitting on red, but one of these days it's gonna hit brown and it's gonna ruin the mood.
You just get a towel.
Okay.
I mean, you make it seem like you are just gonna like projectile shit as soon as they pull their dick out.
No, it's just kind of, it's embarrassing. It's always embarrassing.
Okay, so is queefing, but I can't help it. And you know what? You know how hard it is to keep romantic eye contact as there is air coming out of your vagina?
No,
it's
I can't.
Really hard to be intimate.
I wish you could, though.
Because at least your ass, you can clench it. You can't do anything with your vagina. It's like...
Sorry, that's my vagina.
That's my vagina. I can't stop it. Okay, let's go. Let's keep going.
Okay, so number one, you want to take anal more seriously. What's your number two?
This next one is... Okay, the next parts of it are going to be a little bit more serious because I haven't been in an actual relationship to where I said this is my, partner for 5 years, almost 5 years now. So I don't know how, I've dated a lot of people in between, but I don't know how to act in a relationship because I have this mindset that if I'm texting someone that I really like or I'm talking to them, then I don't get a text message back immediately or they come up with some excuse like my phone was dead, I automatically think that, one, there's someone else that's better. Two, there is, they obviously don't want to talk to me as much as I thought that they did. And so I start taking things personally and I start internalizing it instead of vocalizing it or just trying to move past it because that's not what it really is. And so I think I just need to stop. I need to get myself out of that toxic mindset because that is really hindering me having any type of relationship with anyone. I just dissociate. I'm emotionally detached from the people that I see. Yes, I enjoy spending time with them, but I can also remove myself from that situation at any given moment. It's almost like a defense mechanism, and it's not okay, but I'm surviving, so that's how I'm seeing it. I'm not seeing this as I can grow with someone. I'm seeing this as this is going to be temporary like everything else in life is, so I'm going to hold back.
I think as a person, you just don't like being taken advantage of.
Yeah. Or thinking that people can just play fucking mind games with me because that really pisses me off.
Or walk all over you and you don't want that. And so maybe you have this internal fear of a guy doing that. And so you set up a defense if a guy does this automatically. You're like, nope, bye.
Yeah. I mean, do you ever get that way?
I do, but you have to keep a balance. You have to kind of be okay, be on your toes. If a guy does this, yeah, okay. But at the same time, you still got to give people chances. Life is a risk, and it's a risk that sometimes you just have to take. And yeah, it does suck, but it's just it can either it's a risk. It can be, and risks come with rewards or disappointments, and you just gotta come to terms with that.
Yeah, and I think part of it is the guy that I kind of waited around for 3 years in Oklahoma, waiting for him to kind of make up his mind. And so that's kind of looming in the back of my mind, thinking I don't want to wait around for someone. They either want me or they don't. But that brings me on to my next resolution as far as dating goes, is to be more honest and open about my expectations from dating in the beginning instead of being afraid to tell them what I want and pushing them away.
And I kind of have that problem too. You want a cookie cutter. You write down on paper what you want in a guy, and then like you have a checklist. Like if they meet all of those qualifications, they're hired. But sometimes dating's not like that. In reality, it's giving people a chance to really like to connect with each other, and like if you guys connect, you can look past like the stuff that they don't fit into, I guess. Maybe.
Yeah.
And that's the problem that I have too.
Really?
Yeah, I definitely have that problem. I'm way too picky. I have a type. I'm go figure. I'm really into like muscly quote unquote like straight acting type guys, and I wish I can quit it. I really do wish I can quit it. I'd probably have a healthier dating lifestyle if I could, and just like meet guys and be boy crazy like that. But like I know I'm into men. I'm into hairy men. I'm into like muscular men. I'm into men with big arms. I'm into men with big chests.
But you know what? You say that, and you know I've seen. I think you're more open than you're really giving yourself credit for, because the people that you've actually been in a relationship with or been on dates with, they don't really look like what you envision your partner to be. You know what I mean? And you're still happy with that result. I think you are.
Yeah, like I think in this like YouTube date thing, I bring this up because that was like someone I gave a chance to. I was kind of just looking to meet like somebody, and like I was thoroughly surprised. He like talking to him was really nice, and I took that as like I took that as intimacy. Maybe that was my mistake, because like I really opened up to him, and that's an intimate thing whenever you're sharing all that information with somebody. And then he just disappeared out of my life, and that was just kind of like that kind of affected me. But I'll get into that whenever I get into my dating thing. So you keep going.
I think another thing is that with the idea of me being in a relationship, I feel like part of me is doing everything I can to not feel like I'm being tied down with someone, because I see all of my friends in relationships, they're getting engaged, they've got married or they've been married, and they're just trying to really sell that their relationship is perfect or it's the golden standard, and then you kind of know what the backstory is, and maybe they're not as happy as they're portraying themselves on social media, or it's just like I feel like I'm getting claustrophobic, like watching them. I don't want to say settling. It feels like a bad word, but I'm going to say settling anyways. Settling. And me, I feel like being in that relationship that I was in for 4 years, I'm trying to prevent that from happening again. And I'm doing everything I can to keep myself from being in a relationship, because I'm not ready for that. I don't know if I'll ever be ready for something like that. And I know I'm 25 now, but I mean, I've been saying this for almost fucking 5 years. Like, I don't know if I'm ready for that. And so watching them grow in their relationships or do whatever they're doing has made me want to do the exact opposite. Like, fight that societal standard that when you're with someone, you're in a relationship, you are going to ultimately end up with them. And I think that is not always the best mindset to have when you're going into a relationship, is that it's going to, result in marriage. Because, God, there was one of my Facebook friends today, she was open about someone she had been engaged with, and now she had a wedding dress, and then she called the wedding off, and she's like, I've never been, I'm happy with myself. She's like, it's not the way that I wanted it to go. She's like, but sometimes you have to cancel weddings. She's like, you have to think about yourself and put yourself first. And I think sometimes people don't want to acknowledge that things are temporary. And I don't know, I think it's like a curse and a blessing in the same way, because I've been able to discover so many new things about myself, and I'm able to be alone and be okay with it, instead of feeling like I need someone right there with me that is a romantic partner to get me through hard times. Because all of the support and strength that you can get in a romantic relationship, you can also find in platonic relationships too. And so I've really held on to the platonic relationships that I've had and the importance to them, and not worried about trying to find that with a romantic partner, because at the end of the day, if it doesn't work out, I still have friends to fall back onto. And I feel like sometimes you lose that when you get into a relationship. You lose those friends that were really close. And I know life happens, but I'm afraid of becoming that person. And so I feel like I've done everything I can to not be like that. And I don't know if that's a resolution. I feel like I just went on a rant, but still, I had to get it out.
No, it's like, it's your inner thoughts, and that's like what you want in the next year. That's exactly what this podcast is about. And concerning the whole like ideal relationship, or like the golden relationship that you see on Instagram and stuff like that, I'm gonna go into that a little bit later on, about like what goals you should set yourself in the new year, because this has to do with people who are already in relationships as well, not just people who are single. Like, people rush into like dating so hard, like they feel like they should, they take step by step, and then they think that the end goal is marriage. Like, that's the end. I've reached the finish line and I'm here. But that's not it. Like, you're starting a marathon whenever you like marry somebody, and like, it's a partnership. It's like, it's a relationship, and it's a mixture of a bunch of things. And like, I've seen so many like marriages fizzle out because they've rushed into it to the point where it's just like they're not talking with each other. They thought they wanted to take things to the next level, up to the point where marriage was it, but then they didn't know what next level would be, and then their relationship just kind of fell apart from that, because they couldn't be like they felt like their partner was like waiting for something. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's like, I mean, once though the likes and, you know, acknowledgement fizzles out on Facebook and social media from you, you know, getting it to your engagement session, your bridal shower, your wedding, I mean, really, what's next? If you're letting your relationship and your identity being defined by that relationship and the partner that you're with, instead of, you know, being your own person, that's not really healthy, in my opinion. I really don't think it is. And it's like because you're attached to the hip, and so once that's over, you almost think to yourself when you're in that situation, what's next? Like, do I have a kid? Well, I don't want kids. So then what happens? You go on with life. Like, don't worry about all the stuff that doesn't matter. Don't worry about the fucking likes on social media. You got married because you love this person, not because you wanted acknowledgement and affirmation from everyone who's watching you, from some person that you never fucking talked to in high school, but you want them to acknowledge your posts anyways. And so I think that's part of it. They just kind of feel lost because you built up. That's like us building up. Graduating from college, that was the pinnacle moment of our life so far. After that, what the fuck do we do?
Exactly.
We felt so lost for so long, and you finally, after a year of pining for a job, you have something that's related to what you went to school for. It's something, it's a stepping stone, and that's what's important. But oh my god, do you feel so fucking confused? Like, there's nothing left for me. You know what I mean?
But you know what? That took work. That took work, and that took like.
And so do relationships.
And so that goes with relationships too. So relationships take work. Marriage doesn't solve everything. Marriage isn't like okay, it's set in stone. We're gonna be together forever, and we're never gonna have problems.
And you know what I think too is that I think people who are listening to this, if you are seeing someone that you like and you start dating them, go in with the mindset that think about how you can grow from this relationship. Don't see that you're going to end up with them for the rest of your life. Just think of, learn new things about yourself that you didn't know before. Look at the best parts that this person is bringing out in you, even if it's temporary, even if they go away one day, like you see them for a year and then, you know, it's over. Look at all the great things that have come from it, because that's what I've had to do. Even if, maybe fucking Mmmbop guy was kind of a dick, but there's a lot that I was able to take from that relationship I had with him. I learned so much about myself. I love musicals. I actually like listening to operas, and I have an appreciation for the type of art. So even though there are shitty things that happen, I still took something away from it, and I still molded that into the person that I am today. And I can appreciate that aspect of that relationship.
We're moving way forward because like these are all topics that I actually want to talk about a little bit later on. So how about you get to your next goal for 2019?
Next goal is okay. So I feel like I just want to not hold back anymore when I'm starting out with someone.
Me too. That's actually what I have on my list too. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's just, you know, when you get in, you're just kind of ambivalent. You're on the fence about it. But I'm tired of feeling like I fall too hard because I don't feel like I used to think, and I've had this conversation with my brother before too, that I feel like I fall too hard when I'm going into a relationship. But the thing is, I don't do that with every single person that I am involved with. But when you meet the right person, you know there's a connection there. There's something more there. And you just open yourself up. Like spread eagle. It's just, it's there.
You can spread eagle, god damn it.
You can spread eagle your feelings all over them. And But no, seriously, you just open up.
But no, you can sit back, relax, open your legs, and talk about your real feelings.
Talk about how you're open for anal, okay?
Okay, talk about how you're open for business.
But in all seriousness, it's just, I think it's okay to fall for people that seem like you have a genuine connection with, because you don't find that with every single person. Now, if you're doing that with every single person, then it's a little bit of a problem, but that's a different story. That's not what I'm talking about. So stop holding back. That's my resolution for dating in 2019. We will fucking see where that goes. Who knows? Like I said, I have a really bad complex on dating anyway, so just try to keep an open mind.
We're all broken here.
Yeah, exactly. But that's basically my resolutions for dating. What are yours, KW?
Okay, let's get into my 2019 dating goals.
Let's open up my ass and pull out these goals.
Open up my ass and pull it out. Okay, so 2018, I was caught on the fence between about moving. Okay, I was.
Are these dating goals or your like life goals?
No. Okay, so let me explain 2018 to you guys. I was caught on the fence between moving to Los Angeles and having just moved to Los Angeles. And so I felt like that kind of held me back from meeting people. Because A, in the beginning of the year, I was about to leave. And then B, I just got here and I was too afraid to meet people. And now I'm not new to LA anymore. I've lived in Los Angeles for 6 months now. I'm not native, not per se. I still don't even have like my California driver's license or my vehicle registration. Just pull me over. But
I'm becoming a police officer and you're getting a ticket.
No, god damn it. You'll work at the airport anyways. Who fucking cares? So that kind of set me back from like really, I kind of had this thought process of like, well, even if I like delved into a relationship with this person, what was it matter? I was about to move away. Or like, I moved here and I'm like, well, I don't want to like get into anything because I don't even have a job yet. And like, I feel like that would set me back.
Did you feel ashamed? Like if you were to date people and meet them and they ask what you did, and you're like, I'm with a moving company part-time. And... Yeah,
no, I did feel ashamed. I didn't feel ashamed like talking. I totally felt ashamed like saying like I'm in between jobs right now trying to look for something. And you know what? A lot of people, here's the thing. And my heart is out to every single person in Los Angeles. If we have any Los Angeles listeners right now, who are
trying to make it,
because everyone is in between jobs who are trying to get into the media business. That's just how it is. And I've heard so many things from so many people, and I've actually I have gotten the chance to talk to like media people, media like professionals, and who have like told me like that's just the way it is. That's just how the business is. And I've heard it from so many people, and you know, my heart's out to them, and I'm learning new lessons here. And I kind of felt like focusing too much on a relationship would actually hold me back from actually learning stuff like that. And so now that I'm here and I have a new job and I'm working full time, I feel like I have the chance to actually settle down. I have my feet on the ground now. I have a stable income and benefits, a 401k. I got vacation time. I got
Whoa!
making almost $40,000 a year.
Set that fucking 401k up as soon as possible because you're going to be pissed when you're 60 years old and you have nothing to show for it.
And I'm going to be pissed when I'm 60 years old and I can't piss anymore. I have to piss out of a catheter.
Just wear diapers. It's fine.
Wear diapers. Adult
That's
diapers.
what I'll do.
But now they're black and they're fashionable.
Ooh.
Gucci diapers.
Versace.
Versace. I want to. Okay. And next one. I want to meet people in a casual way. I don't want to meet people off Grindr with starting off with a dick pic, or like off Tinder starting off with a hey, how are you? Hey,
looks like someone needs to go out more.
Yeah, well, sure, but like it's hard to. Well, it's not hard to meet gay people here. You're in the fucking gay mecca of the
right?
World. But like, I feel like you can meet the wrong. Well, here's another thing. I want to change my thought process on that because, like, I live in Los Angeles, and Los Angeles is infamous about WeHo and the WeHo gays. And WeHo gays, for people who don't know, it's West Hollywood, and the gay people who kind of like surround that area kind of have developed this culture of, kind of I want to call it pretty privilege, like, the people who are physically attractive make it, whereas people who are not seen to fit into that category don't make it. And I want to kind of get that sort of street fact out of my head. I want to be like more open and like, because I feel like that's setting me back from actually meeting people. And that lowers my own self-esteem in a way, because I feel like I don't fit in to that crowd. But anyways, I want to meet people in a casual way, even if they're not gay. I just want to like make friendships. I want to make like meaningful relationships with people, and then I'll like mature on an emotional level and become a better person. I think 2019 is me developing like emotionally, and like hell, maybe I'll find love. I don't know. And maybe stop thinking so much about me being single for like the past 3 years. It's been 3 years since I've gotten fucked. Dur, dur, dur. So I have it stuck in my head that like I want this one type of person, like I'm looking for this one type of like person, and if he fits all these qualities, he's perfect, and I want to date him. That can kind of be poisonous because like I can rely too much on that, and if I do find him, I like latch onto them, and that's not healthy. Like latching onto somebody as soon as you meet them, that can really ruin a lot of things.
Yeah, yes, and yes. I also want to fuck, this is hard because I know what you're talking about, but yeah, no, latching on I think is bad because it comes off as a little bit more obsessive than it does. I just really, like this person, and then I'm bummed out instead of letting those thoughts consume you, that rejection consume you. You know what I mean?
And I've had people talk to me and be like, oh, well, he's another person. He's just like, fuck it. You know what? Rejection happens, and you turn around and move on. And whenever you latch, well, the thing is, whenever you latch onto somebody, that's the feeling that you get. You be like, it's a lot more complicated.
Exactly. And it's like you don't understand unless you're in that position. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And so I want to stop latching onto people, and I want to like develop relationships and develop like meaningful relationships with people. Hold on. I need to pee real bad real quick. I'm going to take a little pee break. I'm going to do a little thing right here. So I'll give you 5 seconds.
All right. So I'm going to read one of my resolutions for my diary while he's doing that. I guess he can just piss in 5 seconds. Must be nice. All right, so happy new year. This is January 1st, 2007. This is a Monday. This is my diary. It says, "Dear Precious, Happy New Year. My New Year resolution is to keep my old friends, but also make new ones too. Oh, and to hopefully see my mom and find the guy in my dreams. Bye." That's Shiloh Barrett, 13 years old. My mom was a drug addict, so I wanted to, and I hadn't seen her in a while, so I wanted to see her again. And also, I was really obsessed with anime characters and also Link from Legend of Zelda, so that was my dream guy. He wasn't real, but I still wanted to find him either way. Spoiler alert, that didn't happen. I'm still here. 12 years later, I guess. Jesus, already. It's gonna be 2019. I thought I'd be dead by now, but here I am. Welcome back, KW. So nice of you to finally join us again.
Yep, here I am. Sorry about that. Okay, no, I'm sorry, guys. I'm drinking a lot of coffee and water. One thing I'm trying to do this year too, I'm trying to kick soda, and like sticking to like LaCroix and like just water, and like seltzer water and stuff like that because I want to try to kick all that sugar out of my life.
Is this a dating resolution or a lifestyle resolution?
Oh, that's a lifestyle resolution. Let's get back to dating resolution stuff. I haven't had an intimate connection with someone in so long. I do find myself curling up in a ball in bed at night alone. You know, the regular healthy way of dealing with being single.
Curling up with my dildo at night.
Curling up just in a pillow at night and just like crying myself to sleep while listening to the Animal Crossing
Oh,
music.
I love Animal Crossing music. It's so relaxing.
That's what I fall asleep to. I like to fall asleep to video game music. Let's see. I think what's a big thing with me is that I don't put myself out there for people.
Mm-hmm.
And even if like a hot guy, like a guy that I think is attractive would say hey to me, I'm skeptical. I'm already skeptical. And like, I don't respond sometimes. I ghost. I legitimately ghost people, even if they say hi to me.
Mm-hmm.
And
like on Grindr or in person or what?
On Grindr.
Oh, okay.
And like,
because I mean, I feel like you've seen this scenario play out too many times before, where even if it's just hi, you give a genuine response back, and then there's a dick pic, and so you don't even want to open the door for that.
I have another resolution here too. Anytime that I do that, if like people aren't going to take me seriously, I'm not going to take them seriously.
You're going to take them seriously?
No. If people aren't going to take, here's the thing, golden rule: if people aren't going to take you seriously, don't take them seriously. Fucking fuck their shit up. Send them like weird ass pics. Freak them out. Be like, why the fuck did you send this to me? I'm like, because you're not taking me fucking seriously, so I'm not going to take you seriously. I'm going to treat you as a joke.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're treating this conversation in this fucking app.
Because like I put in my bio that I'm looking to like legitimately like talk to people and stuff like that, and you're ignoring it, and you're not even treating me like with respect. Right. You're not treating me seriously. I wait for people to engage me. Maybe I should try engaging others. So one thing for me is that I don't reach out, I don't scroll, and I don't like find people that I'm interested in and try to like reach out and say hi. Maybe I'll try doing that a little bit more. Trying to be like the first person to initiate a conversation, because like two people waiting for a conversation to start, it never happens. You got to try to take the initiative, and you got to try to be like the one to, because the guy that I met this year was like really good at like holding conversations, even when people didn't want to like, even people didn't know what to say. That he would just keep like holding a conversation. He was very good at that, and I kind of want to develop that type of skill. I want to,
practice makes perfect.
Yeah, exactly. So I want to try to practice that this year. I wait for people to engage me. Maybe I should try engaging others. It's the fear of rejection that gets me, but I want to learn to say to myself, who fucking cares? So like if you try to reach out to somebody, they say hi and they reject you, I want to learn to say to myself, I want to look in the mirror. I want to say, I'm worth it. And who fucking cares? They're just another person. And if they don't like me, that's just how it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to believe it. And 2019 is going to be that way.
It's going to be a very challenging year for us.
Right. It is. It's a big challenge. People I met in the past want to rush to sex. I want to be able to handle those people better, be more assertive in the fact that I'm looking to develop something and not just fuck. Yeah. So I do have people who try to talk to me, but they underlyingly want to just fuck. And I want to be able to like read that and put my foot down and be like, hey, okay, look, I can kind of see from from like the vibes that you're trying to put out that you were just wanting to fuck. I'm putting my foot down right now and saying like, I don't know if you read my bio. I'm just looking to develop like a type of friendship or something like that. I'm not looking to just fuck. And I want to be assertive. I want to be more assertive like that. I'm not really assertive when it comes to conversations like that. And sometimes I feel like I can be pressured into like doing something that I don't want to, and I don't want that.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's not okay. So I put that's not a strange thing to do on an app when you want to meet others. I get others have their objectives, but they need to understand that I have mine as well.
Well,
And that's a big thing. And like whenever people do that, they ignore your objectives and they focus on their objectives, and that's not respectable.
No, you're just being a fucking dick.
Yeah.
Read a fucking bio. Jesus Christ. I'm not asking you to read an Ernest Hemingway novel. It's like fucking 5 lines. That's all you need to know. You can gather everything you need to know about a person from those 5 lines.
Exactly. So I want to be more assertive about that. I want to be able to put that into shorter words when a guy rushes things with me. So I basically want to take all that and I want to be able to like have a response, like an automatic response whenever I see that happening. And I want to be able to handle it well. Like you said, practice makes perfect. I want to be able to have a way to deal with guys who just send dick pics or send bad pickup lines. So, I mean, I pretty much already do that, but like, I feel like I can do a lot better.
Take their dick and like Photoshop something with it and send it back to them. That would be fucking great.
Like the head of a Teletubby.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I want to stop ghosting guys and actually have a response, even if it's ludicrous. So
what?
Like if a guy messages me and I'm not interested and I don't respond, they get mad. I kind of want to stop just ignoring people.
I have 2 feelings about that. One, you're not obligated to respond to anyone.
That's true.
And vice versa, no one's obligated to respond to us. So if they get mad, that's their own fucking problem. And I feel like that's putting emotional stress on you. Even if it's subtle, it's still putting some type of stress on you that you shouldn't have to subject yourself to. If you don't want to fucking respond to a message, you don't want to respond to a message.
Yeah. Well, if you're okay, how about this? If you initiate a conversation with a guy and then like it goes south, then he's just like, "Yo, you want to meet and fuck?" I'm not gonna ghost him. I'm gonna be straight up forward. Be like, "Okay, listen. This. My bio says that I'm looking to develop something. I've literally talked to you for 10 minutes and you're already rushing into sex. That's not my thing. Sorry, man. No."
I would just say, read my bio and get back to me.
Yeah, I want to be able to say no to people.
Yeah.
And like be assertive about it. I feel like I have an obsession with a particular sect of men where their culture is usually set on ignoring guys like me, but that's been kind of unhealthy in my life. But like but I can't ignore what I like. So maybe coming into like maybe having like a balance, maybe like kind of trying to meet guys that don't particularly fit into that sect. And just being more open, I guess, with like meeting people. Because in the end, I don't have to have intimacy with people that I don't want to, because that's just it. Like, and if they get mad about it, fuck them.
Exactly.
And I want to look in the mirror and I want to believe it. So I want to say this a lot. I want to look in the mirror and be happy with the way that I look instead of compare myself with gay guys who are overtly attractive and use it to their advantage. I want to like kind of ignore that whole like lifestyle of pretty privilege and shit like that. And I want to just see people as people instead of 1s and 10s, 1 through 10s. I want to see people as people.
And appreciate them for the different styles that they have instead of like, oh, this person's really attractive, I'm never going to be good enough kind of a thing, and just beating yourself up about it because it's not fair to you. And
here's another thing. 2019, I don't want to say that I will never be good enough, ever. Like this whole year, I don't want to tell myself that I will never be good enough. I think that's a big thing. So I told myself that a lot this year.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great goal.
For social media, though, let's tie this into social media and online stuff. I did it last year, but I really want to carve it in stone this year. I want to ignore like counts and view numbers and just put out stuff because I'm enjoying myself. And I want to let go of jealousy and forgive people who have hurt me in the past and give new people chances.
So like the whole forgive mantra, I think what you're doing is great. I do want our listeners to know that if someone hurt you, you don't have to fucking forgive them.
You don't have
By the
to.
way, you can still have a fulfilling life if you don't forgive someone who hurt you. Because there are a handful of people in my life I will never forgive. But you know what? I'm not sitting around, being pissed off about a situation that happened to me years ago. I'm still, I feel like I'm living a fulfilling life. Like, you don't have to forgive people, but I think it's great that you gave yourself that goal, but also be mindful that don't feel like it's expected of you.
Right. And it is your life. I mean, you can forgive or you don't have to forgive.
Forgive and
But for
forget.
me, I don't forgive and forget. I legitimately, I feel forgiveness is something for yourself. It's not something for others.
Right.
If somebody wants forgiveness from you, you're not giving it to them. You're giving it to yourself. You're closing that chapter. You're closing that book and being like, okay, it happened and I'm moving on from this.
Yeah,
And
forgive. Sorry, go ahead.
And like, you can sort of do that if like nobody ever apologizes to you about that, but it's just kind of tougher. But like, forgiveness eases that process and it gives you closure to that whole situation. You're like, okay, for this forgiveness is helping me. It clears, it's lifting a weight off my shoulder. And I want to forgive the people who have hurt me this year.
And I want to say that for forgiveness, it's not to give the person who hurt you a peace of mind. It is to give yourself a peace of mind.
Exactly.
And something to move past. And if you feel like you cannot fully move past a situation, then maybe it's not time to forgive. Or maybe
It's not time.
Yeah, it's not time, or it's just you're not meant to forgive that person or that situation. Like, it happened, but you can still move past it.
Right. Yeah. Forgiveness takes time. And when it comes to the day, whenever you like sit down and you're like, you know what? I forgive this person. If this person like comes to you like years later, be like, hey, I want to try again, say that I'm sorry, and maybe it'll be time. And I did talk about this last episode about forgiveness and stuff like that, but it is mainly forgiveness is for yourself.
Exactly.
So that's my New Year's goals. And now I want to move on to the New Year's goals that we think that you should set for yourself for the new year. Shiloh, do you have any?
What?
Do you have any for the listeners who are listening? What do we suggest for your New Year's goals?
What do you mean? Like, goals or dating goals?
For dating goals.
Oh, so
Because I have a list
do
here
you
that
want
I
me
want
to
to
read
read,
off?
but I want to see if you have any.
Do you want me to read off the list?
If you want to, yeah, you can read a couple off the list.
Or do you want me to come up with my own? Did you pick you picked a clean sock, because I got this microphone really close to my face and I was really hoping that the sock you put on here was clean and not one of the dirty ass ones from fucking Starbucks and sweat.
No, that's my sock and I washed it.
Oh, it smells really good. Did you use the Downy things that I have?
I used Downy, I used fabric softener, and then I used Tide Pods. I clean my clothes very well.
In case you guys were wondering, KW's clothes and socks smell really good.
I know how to do my
At the end of this episode, he'll give you his laundry routine for how he cleans his clothes.
I'm the barefoot Contessa.
He's fresh as a daisy.
Fresh as a daisy. Okay, so if you want to, you can read the first three, then I'll read the
Cool.
last three.
That's great, because I don't want to like say something and then repeat it off this list, but if I have more to add on to, I'll do that.
Okay.
Before we get into that, I need to fucking pee because my bladder is bursting. So I'll be right back. Entertain our listeners with reading off of the first part of the B movie, the script. I'll be right back.
I'm not going to do that. Okay, cut to pee break.
don't even want to know what you're doing to our listeners right now. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back! Stop
it! I'm sorry, what did you say?
Listen, okay? I really hate when I go to piss. Okay. And I have to
Okay, sorry.
No, you know when you feel like you have to go to the bathroom and you're peeing and you're like, oh no, shit's coming out too while we're at it. Let's just have a fucking party. Oh, it's the most frustrating thing because I had to scrub my ass so fast to get back here.
Sorry about that.
I tried to spare the listeners from that song, but it could not be prevented. It was meant to be.
What do you think it sounded like?
Benny and the
like
Jets.
This?
Damn it, if I could play music, I fucking would.
Okay, I'm back. We're back.
Fascinating. Thank
Do you know that song?
Yes, I know that song.
The Yakety Sax?
Yakety Sax. What?
Yeah, okay, now I gotta play it again.
No, don't play it again! No, Franklin, come back. It's okay.
Okay.
Mommy's doing this for work.
All right, and we're back from pee break.
Pee break. Okay, so we're going to start with the goals that we think you, as the listener, should set for yourself in the new year.
Yep.
So I'm going to read the first three, and in between, me and KW will discuss them if we feel like we need to or to elaborate more on it, and then KW is going to read the last parts of it. So start with meet people outside of your comfort zone. KW, would you like to elaborate more on that?
Yes, go into alleyways and meet with shady people because you never know their life story.
Yeah, Skid Row's a good place to start here in LA.
Yeah, it's a very good place to start. You know, the alleyways near WeHo, where just kind of ignore the people who are doing heroin and are fucking on the streets. Just you know, just get out a microphone and just really get someone's story on tape.
Like Billy on the street, but
Billy
you know.
On the street. No, meet people outside of your comfort zone. Like, don't just stick with your friend circle because you're comfortable with it. Like, really try. If it has to, I mean, if you have to use dating or French, or there's apps where they act like as catalysts for like meeting people as friends and stuff like that. And if you have to do that, do that. Don't try to treat it more not like an idea of the day, more like an idea of the year. That's like, okay, this is my goal. I want to set out and I want to meet people.
Yeah, and you know what the great thing is about dating people that are not in your friend circle? If you guys stop talking, it's not awkward or anything. There's no obligation to stay in communication with them after it's all said and done. I mean, have you ever been set up with someone from your inner friend circle? Because I don't think I have, actually. I think they've tried, but they were just I never found them attractive.
No, I've been set up, but like I haven't really like went through with it. I can say this. There was this one girl that you tried to see. I'm not gonna name any names. But like it ended up not working out. But you guys ended up being friends, and I became friends with her, and she's now one of my really good friends.
That's not a relationship, though.
That kind of is a relationship.
I'm talking about dating. We're talking about this is a dating podcast, not fucking friends.
Okay, well, you talked about friend circles and shit like that. Okay,
I know,
on
but
to
like
the next one.
your friends setting you up with someone in their friend circle to go on a date with.
Okay, no, nobody's done that yet.
Okay,
They set me up with a date that I wasn't into.
Okay, good. So, moving on. Don't let doubt overshadow an opportunity for something. The worst thing that can happen is that what you do just doesn't work, but that's an opportunity in itself to learn, so try. Yeah, The worst
Says
thing that
it
can
on its
happen
own.
is that what you do just doesn't work. So
It's a
many
mistake.
words.
Life is full of mistakes, and that's a way to learn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even that goes with like relationships too, and like meeting people and like talking to people. And
You're always going to have doubt. It's always going to be looming over you, but you can't let that control how you react to the relationship. You just have to learn how to get out of that funk and out of that mindset of just negative thoughts. And I think it's the most difficult part about being in a relationship is just breaking out of those old habits, but it's possible.
right.
All right, so last one for me, it's going to be really try and get to know people, dive into interests, and most of all, listen. Oh my God, yeah, I can't tell you how many fucking times I've had to talk to people and they weren't actually listening to what I was saying, or they're clearly not interested in what I'm saying. I actually called a guy out that I'm talking to right now on this because I mentioned ballet to him before and he just like didn't give me anything to work with on that. And I was like, okay, cool. And so like a couple weeks later, he was asking me what I was doing, and I said, well, I'm at work right now. I fucking hate it. I said, but I'm looking forward to ballet afterwards. I said, that's at least something that I have. And he said, oh, he's like, I don't know if you've mentioned ballet before. I said, oh, no, I have. You just didn't seem interested in it, so I haven't brought it up since. And he goes, oh, my bad. Like, I'm one of those people that will make it very fucking obvious if I'm pissed off at you about something in particular, or I'm just very passive aggressive. So you never really know how to read me. But yeah. That was that. So just be listen to your fucking part. Even if you don't care, like I can't tell you how many times I've had someone talk to me about something that's not interesting, but I still ask engaging questions so they can have something to keep going and to keep working with. Because if I was like, oh yeah, I've done that before. I'm guilty of it.
Guilty of it.
I'm guilty of it, but you know what?
Still care.
I still care. I care enough to ask you about something that maybe I don't give two shits about because I realize at the end of the day that they love that. Like maybe that's their passion. That's something that, you know, gets them going. It gives them a reason to wake up in the morning. So it's important to listen to people that have passions and interests because that's their motivation. And it's fucking sucks when you're talking to someone and they don't give two shits about what's coming out of your mouth right now.
Yeah, listening's a big part, and I think the reason why I'm able to connect with people very well is just because I mean, maybe sometimes I'll interrupt, and I don't mean to interrupt. Like, I do have that kind of habit, and I do apologize, but like,
yeah, sometimes you interrupt and you kind of just change the topic, and I'm like, cool.
Sorry, I don't. That's something I'm working on, of course. And it's a natural habit and I'm trying to kick it, but like, no, sit down and listen. And if somebody's like telling you a story, like really sit down and like listen to like the entirety of it and really try to analyze what they're saying instead of don't pretend listening. Like
I do that. I'm guilty of it.
And it's something we all have to work on, but like pretend listening is like the enemy of everything because like that kills the conversation because like that's you telling the other person, especially if you can telegraph it very well. It's just you telling the other person that I don't care, but I don't want to tell you.
Especially if you're on your phone.
Right. The whole phone thing too. That's just the worst. It's like I don't really care about what you're talking about right now. So really try to listen to people and get to know people. Okay, so for my 3, if you're already dating or married, and we talked a little bit about this before, so I won't get too deep into this. If you're already dating or married, don't lay back, relax, thinking that you're in the clear. This is important. You are in a marathon. You need to keep it up, and you need to be communicative with your partner. You need to be able to see if there are any problems in a relationship, and you need to address them before they fester into something that is not fixable.
Mm-hmm.
And we went into that earlier.
Yeah, and I mean, I think at a certain point, if you realize that something's not going to work, even if you are in a marriage, it's okay to let go because that doesn't mean that there's not going to be something else out there for you. I know exactly. I'm sure it's a shitty feeling. I don't know what that feels like, but I feel like I can understand that on some level. but it doesn't feel good. But I cannot fucking talk. There is still more out there for you. That's not the end all be all because this marriage fizzled out or this relationship fizzled out. There's other ones out there.
We really don't like to feel like we've wasted time on something, and marriage is something that you put in a lot of time into.
And money.
And money. That's another thing too. Sometimes when you're dating or married to someone that there are wounds or cracks that the parties involved flat out ignore or avoid and let fester. I talked about that a little bit. Find out what you can do to even better your relationship. Maybe you look back and see if there are any issues that you might see. Communicate it. Don't let it just sit there because it'll only get worse. Don't ignore things. Don't ignore problems. If you see an issue or if you have a gripe, you need to be communicative with your partner and be like, hey, so I want to sit down and talk about this. It's and like, don't downplay your issue either. Like, what's going on?
Franklin was starting to kind of meow, so I was snapping at him. Without being too obvious that something is happening behind the scenes over here.
So moving on. Don't just let it sit there and let it get worse. Like I know there are people in relationships right now who are struggling with sort of monsters in the closet about their own relationships, and they want to pretend that everything's perfect with their marriage because they've reached that high point and they want to stay at that high point. They want to stay at that honeymoon phase, and they want to portray that they're always going to be at that honeymoon phase. And that's not reality. That is that's disenfranchisement, I feel. It's like you're pretending you're living in a fantasy world.
Like, I feel like yes and no with the honeymoon phase. I mean, it's not going to feel like new love every single time you're with this person, like the beginning stages of a romance. But I do believe that honeymoon phase can go on for the lifetime of that relationship. If you are with the right person, you're doing all the things that you should be doing. I mean, I know people who have been married for years and they still feel that way because they have that open communication with their partner. They're honest about what they want. They have discussions,
sure,
not screaming matches with each other. And they said, the way they felt at the beginning is pretty much how they feel now, even after marriage, because they're putting in the effort that they need to be putting into the relationship instead of pretending like there's not a problem there when there is.
But I think the difference between like them and like people who kind of fake themselves out is that they realize their problems and that they address them and they're communicative.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how a successful marriage and a successful relationship really works out in the end. And so just keep that in mind. Take a look at your own relationship. See if you have any issues with that you see with your partner. Sit down with them and address them. And it may be uncomfortable. It may be something that like your partner has actually been wanting to talk about. But the fact of the matter is, it needs to be talked about. That's the thing. It's like mowing the grass. Like you can just sit there, but all it's just going to do is just going to grow and grow and grow until it becomes an intangible mess.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Well, that's it for all of the goals that we have and all the goals that we think that you should have. I have a couple of horror stories.
Where's my fucking resume references? Now I found them.
Are you going to put
I'm going to put my resume on here in case any law enforcement agencies are listening. Here it is. I'm going to read it off to you. Starting from Pizza Hut.
Okay.
Just kidding. Go on to what you were going to do.
Moving on. So let's do the final horror stories of the year. Final horror stories of 2018. I picked out a couple here. And I want to see if you want to read one of them. I'm going to read the TLDRs. Well, two have TLDRs. And I want you to pick one, and then I'll have you read it. I have it here in the rundown. I want you to pick between these two. Guy I was dating seriously thought I was a witch. Or blind date a new girl in town, gets blackout drunk on first date, pukes all over my car, can't drive or remember way to her apartment, stays at my place in my bed while I sleep on my couch, wakes up at 4 a.m., doesn't know where she is, freaks out, screams, throws lamps at me. I calm her down, take her home. She calls me 4 times the next day, leaves voicemails scathing me for not taking advantage of her, calls back shortly after and apologizes, asks to hang out again, and never spoke to her again.
Well, sounds like you just read the entire story. I'm glad we got that covered.
There's a lot more, apparently.
Also sounds like a dude I went on a date with, like an experience that he had.
Maybe it's him.
Maybe it's him. Who fucking
Maybe he
knows?
posted it on Reddit.
Probably. I wouldn't put it past him. He seems like one of those guys I would.
Okay, so which one do you want to read?
I'll read the Screaming Girl one.
Shiloh, take it away.
This is from Reddit user Trusty Chords. Here we go. Bear with me. It gets good towards the end. This happened a couple years ago. The receptionist at one of my clients... Okay. The receptionist at one of my clients begged me into meeting her best friend who just moved to LA from Phoenix. She swore up and down we were perfect for each other. I checked out her OkCupid profile, chatted back and forth for a few days, then talked to the mystery girl once on the phone, and we decided to meet for dinner and drinks at a local bar and grill after her shift. She's a nurse. Was over on a Tuesday night. We meet. She's an adorable, petite, dirty blonde with glasses and freckles. Totally my type. I could tell she was a bit nervous. We sit down and order drinks. She downs her apple martini in less than 5 minutes. Well, how long does it take to drink a normal drink? I don't understand.
I would do that too.
Yeah, what the fuck?
About?
It's an alcoholic beverage. I'm not drinking a Dr. Pepper right now.
And it's a fucking martini. Those.
Yeah, there's like a little bit. There's like a little bit in the fucking glass. Like, the glass is already small as it is. I mean, I don't really blame her. So, orders another and apologizes, stating she wants to loosen up a bit because she's nervous since her friend talked me up so much. Which is odd since I don't even know her friend that well at all. Fast forward a bit, she ended up having 2 martinis before the appetizers came, 2 more in between appetizers, and 3 more during dinner, and 1 more right before the check-in. Let's just count that up. Okay, so 2 plus 2 plus 3 plus 1, 7. 7. No, 8? Yeah, it is. Okay, we can't fucking math. We have college degrees and we can't add.
They're in Los Angeles too.
And oh my god, I fucking forgot how strong the fucking alcoholic beverages are here.
And
holy shit.
8 martinis.
8.
She is done.
She ain't a tiny thing like her. The way he's describing her. Probably my size, maybe smaller. Fuck, there's no way. I don't think I could handle 8 martinis in the span of probably a 2-hour dinner. I bet maybe 2.5.
Oh, this guy did his math wrong.
Wait, did we add that wrong?
No. Okay, so 2 plus 2
is 4. 3 plus 1 is 4.
Plus 3 is 7. Plus 1 is 8.
Oh, I see now. Okay, so total Okay, so let's continue on with the story so you can see that we don't have to feel like shit anymore. So total martinis had by a 5'3", 110-pound girl, so about my size. I'm 10 pounds bigger.
No, you just said 5'3", 110-pound girl.
What, yeah? Her height and her weight.
Sounds like 5'3", 110-pound girls.
Okay, 5'3" tall, 110-pound girl in a 3-hour period. He said 7.
Yeah.
He said 7. We came to the conclusion that it is 8 because if you guys want to correct us, 2 plus 2 plus 3 plus 1 is 8, not 7. But that's what he has here, so I'm just going to go with it. Surprisingly, the conversation during this period did quite well, as is the grammar in the story. Exactly. The trouble came as we were about to leave, and she decided to use the restroom before we hit the road. It's fair, drinking all that alcohol, I'd have to piss that much too. She fell twice on the way. She fell twice on the... Thank God he's a designated driver.
Yeah.
She fell twice on the way and once on the way back. Since she was clearly hammered, I offered to drive her home and give her some cash for a cab in the morning to pick her car up. She agreed but declined the cash. Mind you, it's nearing midnight and I have to get up at 5:30 for work. Gross. As we are driving toward her apartment, it becomes apparent that, combined with her drunken state and the fact that she's lived in the valley for less than 2 weeks, she forgot her address and how to get herself home. We drive around North Hollywood and Studio City for an hour trying to remember her street or any local landmarks. This fails and I'm getting tired/frustrated. I offer to let her stay at my place. Nothing weird. She can crash on my bed and I'll take the couch. She's okay with this. On my way back to my place, she attempts to throw up out the car window, but doesn't realize the window was never open in the first place. Jesus Christ. Vomit everywhere. Now she's crying and apologizing like crazy. I get her to my apartment, carry her up the 3 flights of stairs, and toss her on my bed. She's out cold. I go downstairs and spend another 40 minutes cleaning out my car and finally get to sleep on my couch around 2 a.m. Around 4:30 a.m., I'm awoken by a shrill screaming from my bedroom, coming from my bedroom. I run in wearing just my boxers, flip the light on. The girl pauses for a second, looks at me and screams more. Back into a corner, throws my nightstand lamp at me while yelling, "Who the fuck are you?" It takes a minute for me to calm her down and explain the situation and remind her of our night. It eventually all comes back to her.
Oh, no.
She starts crying and apologizing. After I calm her down some more, I give her a ride home. During our ride home, oh my god, this is 2 a.m. This guy has to work at 5:30. I already know what that's like, and I feel my heart goes out to him.
He doesn't know sleep.
I know, right? During our ride home, the awkward silence is only broken by her apologizing while sobbing, telling me how to get to her place, and then asking if... Oh my god, this fucking microphone placement is gonna piss me off. Okay. Telling me how to get to her place, and then asking if we hooked up. I told her we didn't, and that I'm not the creepy type to take advantage of girls in her condition. She replied with something along the lines of, "Oh, okay. I'm not typically a lush, and I'm definitely not a slut. I was just super nervous and don't know my limit last night. Didn't know my limit last night. You seem great, and I hope we can see each other again." I end up saying, "Sure," just to avoid any more awkwardness. Aside from the fact that she already threw up in my fucking car, I gave her an in-car hug and said goodnight. The next day, while slothing around work and a meeting, she called. It went to voicemail. Immediately, she called again, twice. Finally, she left a voicemail. Said voicemail went something like this. "So, I was thinking about what I asked you on our way home last night in regards to us hooking up, and I'm kind of curious as to why you didn't try anything with me."
What the hell?
Fuck? Is it because you think you're too good for me? Huh? Mr. Big Shot LA guy? Well, whatever. I'm not a slut and don't sleep around, but you missed a shot of some awesome sex last night, so whatever. Click. About half an hour later, while I'm still in the meeting, she calls and leaves another voicemail, this time crying. "Sorry about what I said earlier. I'm just having trouble adjusting to a new place. I'm homesick. You seem real great. Please call me back. Please don't ignore me. Please, I'm sorry." Needless to say, I didn't call her back. Her friend, the receptionist, okay, they did spell it right, apologized profusely. That's a really long word, receptionist. Wow. Anyways, apologized profusely the next time I saw her. We didn't talk much about it after that.
Oh my god.
TLDR, what does that mean? Is that a different
too
part?
Too long did it read. That's the one that I just read.
Okay, that was your synopsis. Okay, yeah. So yeah, that was... Oh, wow.
That could have been you.
That could have been me. No. Honestly, God, that was one of the things that we talked about for like first dates. don't get fucking blacked out drunk, because luckily this guy wasn't a piece of shit and didn't take advantage of her. I'm not saying that it's your fault if you're in that situation. I'm just saying just be fucking mindful, because you can't trust people.
And this guy was like props to this guy for like being a decent human being and just like letting him sleep on his bed while he took the couch and cleaned up his throw up.
Cleaning up her fucking vomit, you know what I mean?
Not having like trying to charge her to fucking pay for like a cleaning bill or anything like that, and just trying to get him out of his hair, just trying to get back to his own life. And then like she has like the fucking balls to like call him and say like, why didn't you take advantage of me?
Yeah, exactly. Like the thing that we're trying to tell people to not do on first dates, she's like pushing it on someone. I'm thinking, that's not okay. Please don't ever do that. Oh, ever.
That's not what you should be saying ever. Like, why didn't you take advantage of me while I was drunk?
Exactly. Like, what the fuck?
Like, because he knows that that's not okay. That's
exactly.
Anyways, man.
Wow, yeah. Mr. Big Shot LA guy, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah, so that's why I picked that story. That's a messy one. Plus, it had to do with LA, so I thought it we could
relate to it on a more personal level. Now I know where North Hollywood is. It's kind of nice to read these stories and actually know the area now. Because I'm like, oh yeah, I fucking know North Hollywood.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
No, I got completely lost whenever like I fucking like my GPS, that my phone died and I lost my GPS. I was just wandering around North Hollywood and fucking Burbank. And I got to like some equestrian area and I got so pissed off. And until like I finally got to Disney Animation Studios and I'm like, oh my God, I finally know where I am.
Oh my God. You're just lucky that you were in North Hollywood and not fucking downtown LA, because you would have never have gotten out of that.
Another thing too, I had like a surfboard in like the passenger seat of my car too. So I was just like, I just want to get home. I just want to get this fucking surfboard out of my car. And then like I was just like way too like over it to cook. So I just like drove up to In-N-Out with like a surfboard in the passenger seat. And then, like, the people in, like,
long day of surfing.
The people in, like, the In-N-Out drive-thru, just, like, I drove up, and they just, like, stared at the surfboard, and I'm like, here's my card, just take it.
Just take my money.
Take my money, I want my food, bye. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. So, the next one is by Reddit user Mandel. Oh, am I reading this right? Okay, no, this is by Reddit user Mandy Favor. She says... About 4 years ago, reeling from a nasty breakup, I decided to give Match.com a try.
Oh, good.
First mistake.
Off to a great start. I know, right? You don't have to pay for a dating platform. Just don't do it.
No. A couple weeks after signing up, I received a message. By the way, did you know that Match.com and Tinder are actually owned by the same company?
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah, they're owned by a pack. Like, they own a bunch of companies, and Match.com and Tinder are owned by the same people. I don't know what they're called, but I looked it up the other day. Just a little bit of a tidbit.
Wow, that's fascinating, because I actually had no idea.
Right? About 4 years ago, reeling from a nasty breakup, I decided to give Match.com a try. A couple weeks after signing up, I received a message from a guy named Justin.
Ooh.
I just have
Justin.
Justin.
Oh my God. This sounds like a fucking douchebag.
Well, I know so many Justins. Like, I don't
we know a Justin.
Yeah, I know two Justins. One's my brother. He was cute and just my type, and we set up a date. We got along really well in person and ended up going on a couple of more dates. It seemed like everything was going well. Justin lived in Fullerton, Fullerton? Is that California? Fullerton?
You want me to look it up? I can look it up real quick. Let's look it up so we can just place ourselves there in that situation. Not Facebook. God damn it, every time. Fullerton, I feel like that's going to be too vague for the maps to know. Because there probably is a Fullerton, California.
Fullerton is in California, yeah. That's in
like
Orange
32
County.
Miles. Okay.
Yeah, it's in Orange County over by
Long Beach?
Park. Oh, it's over by Not Very Farm.
Oh, good.
My favorite part.
I love it so much.
Justin lived in Fullerton, and it was my turn to drive him for the date. We headed over to a Dave & Buster's and had a great time playing air hockey and Dance Dance Revolution. Then we decided to head back to his place to watch a movie. We'd kissed a couple of times, and Justin was an excellent kisser. I was looking forward to cuddling and more kissing, but we first decided to make a stop at 7-Eleven for some munchies. We gathered up a couple sodas and some candy and then took them to the register. $6.66, said the cashier, and I pulled out my wallet to pay. Justin gasped loudly. We can't possibly leave the total at $6.66, he exclaimed. That's the mark of the devil. I just laughed. Justin got a very serious look on his face.
What?
If we leave the total like that, we're going to get into a car accident on the way home and die.
Yeah, with that fucking attitude, Justin, what the hell? Who says that?
At this point, I felt he was being ridiculous. Fine, grab something else, and if it bothers you that much, he threw a York peppermint patty on the counter and was satisfied when the total became $7.42.
See, no one talks about it. That's actually the mark of the devil's number. They just want you to think it's $6.66, but it's really $7.42.
$7.42. You've fallen for my trap card. And we headed back to his place. After picking out a movie, we grabbed our bag of snacks and plopped down on his bed. I proceeded to take off my shoes and get comfortable, but Justin gasped again.
What now? What is it now, Justin?
Oh my God, he said. Are those the socks with separate toes? Those really freak me out. I looked down at my striped toe socks. How could anyone be freaked out by something so goofy? Seriously, he said. I can't handle those socks. They really, really bother me. I just looked at him and leaned back onto the bed. I was already over it. Little did I know, Justin was just getting started. Oh my God, he exclaimed. I could see the light had just gone off inside his head. I get it now. You're a fucking witch. It makes sense. It all makes sense. Come again, I asked. It all makes sense. Your black cat, your love of bats, your stripy witch socks. You weren't even bothered by the $6.66. Are you a witch? Get real, I said. I'm not a fucking witch. But I could see this guy was serious. And then they say the R, and then they say...
Yeah, we won't use that word. It's an ableist term. We're not going to say that.
I'm not going to say that.
We'll say moron.
Moron.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think you're a witch, he said. And can you please take off your socks? They're really bothering me. I'm not taking off my fucking socks, I replied. You're being silly. I can't help it. Those socks really freak me out. I'll do anything if you take them off. I'll pay you to take them off. Any amount. You'll pay me, I asked. Yes, came his reply. Fine. Pay me $6.66. He glared at me as I packed my stuff up and left. And that was the last I ever saw of Justin.
Rest in peace, Justin. Though I do understand, because I have a problem with the separating toe socks. Like, why do you fucking wear that?
I mean,
that's
I
like
do too,
wearing the mittens without the individual fingers on because you can't fucking do anything with it. And why do you need to separate your toes and your socks? It doesn't make. That's just weird. It feels weird.
Not a deal breaker for me though. It's just like
that's probably a deal breaker for me. So maybe that's why I'm single.
Maybe that's why. Maybe that's a 2019 resolution.
Maybe
for you.
I should be more open to people wearing socks that separate their toes.
So those are our last horror stories for 2018. Everybody, that's it. And so
come at me, John Cena.
Come on.
Listen to my job. Listen to my podcast.
Oh, quick.
Listen.
Hold on. Give a review.
Hold on. We have to start reviewing. What do you KW, your thoughts? Go.
John Cena's really fucking hot, and I really think that
But he's such a fucking diva. Oh my God.
He's such a diva, and I think that theme music really accentuates that.
His pec muscles.
And
his ass.
And the trumpets in it just sound amazing.
Does he have a nice ass?
And that the trumpets really accentuate his pectoral muscles. Okay, so let's tie this all together. 2018.
Fuck you. Good riddance.
We say that every year though. feel like
Yeah,
we just
but
hate every
I
year that
mean it
passes
this
by.
year. Yeah, I do hate every year, and I'm gonna hate every year till I'm fucking dead.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be honest.
This was just kind of it was a transitional year for us. We just moved to LA, and Shiloh's been dating a pretty good amount. I haven't, but I'm looking to change that. So yeah, 2019. You guys will be listening to this in 2019. We hope that your year is beautiful and that you take all the lessons from 2018 to heart, and you go out there and you make 2019 the best year possible. I have a feeling it's going to be a good year. Good things are happening too. Good things are happening right now, and
For who?
I like to think good things are happening right now.
Maybe I'll look more forward to 2020 or when the presidential candidates are going to be announced.
Maybe, yeah.
Then I'll be a little
2020
bit more optimistic.
2020 is just such a kick-ass number too.
It sounds like it's going to be I feel like I'm looking more forward to 2020. It sounds like it's going to be a badass year.
2019 is a setup for 2020.
Hell yeah.
Let's just look at it like that. This decade's almost over, and 2019, let's just make it our own. So
Fucking the best that we can.
yeah. So folks, that's going to do it for us for this episode and this year. Just want to say that you can always find us on Instagram at YDLLYP_podcast for updates and info about the podcast. Shiloh, where can they find us on Twitter?
Where can I find it? Where is it?
It's in the script. It's in
Where's the
God,
script?
dude. It's
Wait,
right
okay,
there.
I'm at the stories. Hold on. I gotta scroll up. Hold on. Wait, I wasn't ready. I didn't know I was gonna have to read anything.
They
Where
brought
is
up
it?
Twitter just so that
Twitter.
they can follow us, and then they
Okay.
can't.
Okay, wait, where do I go? Okay. Hold on. Okay. You can also find us on Twitter at YDLLYP.
God, this fucking podcast is canceled.
You know what? The 2018, we're actually canceling this podcast. Never mind.
You want to go ahead and read the next part
Oh.
too?
Okay. Yeah. As always, if you have a story you'd like to share with us, you can contact us via email at datingyites@gmail.com. That's DATINGYIKES@gmail.com.
And if you'd like to find us on YouTube, I post all of our episodes to my channel, Coda White, just so you always have that option, I guess, since people, I guess, listen to podcasts on YouTube. All right.
It's weird.
Any final thoughts for the year, Shiloh?
You know, guys, just like we said before, try to be an open book, you know? Keep yourself open as much as you keep your ass open. Open your ass like you would open your heart. And
Open your heart, open your
Like,
ass.
your
That's the
ass.
mantra for 2019.
that's the mantra. That's how I'm ending 2018. I'm going to open my ass like I'll open my art.
Open hearts,
Open heart,
assholes.
open assholes. What's going in? It's going down.
2019.
2019, here we come, full force. In my ass.
And on that note, you guys have a great new year. We'll see you on the other side. Well, you guys are already on the other side whenever we're releasing this. But anyways, I'm KW Simpson.
And I'm Shiloh Rain.
This has been You Don't Look Like Your Picture. And remember, a dick pic is apparently worth 1,000 hellos.
Bye.
Goodbye, everybody.
And that's a wrap. That was it. Okay, bye. Oh, I thought it said 3 hours. I was like, there's no fucking way we were talking for 3 hours.